Hi, I'm Austin Williams, and today I'm going to be talking about vigilantes in Montana's history. The reason I chose this subject is I love learning and researching different things that have happened in Montana's history, and vigilantism is one that I hadn't learned a whole lot about yet. In 1862, gold was discovered in what is now the settlement of Bannock, and within a year, more than 5,000 people had actually moved into Bannock alone. With rapid growth comes crime. And so, in order to combat the crime that was happening in Bannock, they elected a sheriff. His name was Henry Plummer. Now, Plummer was an interesting fellow because he kind of acted as a double agent. He acted as sheriff, and then behind closed doors, he was the leader of a gang called the Innocents. And Plummer, using the knowledge as sheriff, knowing the comings and goings and moving of money, he fed the intel to the members of the Innocents, and those members would then go either murder or rob the stagecoaches or other miners in these towns along the way. And so, with this crime that was still happening, even though they had a sheriff, a lot of the citizens became frustrated. More than 102 murders happened in 1863 to 1864, and more than $250,000 of gold and money was stolen from these citizens. And so, out of that frustration, the citizens decided to form a vigilante committee. Not all citizens, but a handful. Now, the vigilante committee was made up of members that had their own rules and their own oath and bylaws that they followed. They took the law into their own hands and acted quickly. Most of the time, when they captured a criminal, they would act as judge, jury, and possibly an executioner on the spot. They wouldn't wait for a trial. They wouldn't wait for lawyers. They just took the law into their own hands at that time. They more often would not than not would banish the criminals from the area, but sometimes they would hang the criminals. One night, a man named Red Yeager was carrying a message to the Innocents, and he was captured by a couple of vigilantes, and the vigilantes forced a confession out of him, and either out of guilt or trying to talk his way out of it, Red started to name names. He named Henry Plummer as the leader of the Innocents and a few other men. And by the morning, he was hanged from a tree with a note pinned to his back, serving as a warning to other criminals in the area. With the new knowledge that they had about the sheriff, the vigilantes knew they had to act quickly. So they found Henry Plummer and they took him into their own custody. Plummer tried to lie, tried to cheat, tried to bribe. He tried to fight his way out of his capture. Eventually, succumbing to the knowledge that he was not going to get out of this, he stopped talking. And Plummer was actually hanged from the gallows that he had ordered erected in Bannock himself for another trial. The vigilantes in the first 6 weeks of 1864 actually hanged 21 men for crimes. Eventually, President Ulysses S. Grant formed a territorial justice system in Montana, kind of pushing away the need for vigilante justice. And Chief Justice of Montana was appointed, and that was the Honorable Hezekiah Hosmer. Hosmer said basically, thank you to the vigilantes, but if you continue to carry out vigilante justice, you will meet the same fate as a lot of the men you hanged. So the vigilante committee kind of disbanded, and with the new territorial justice being formed, law and order kind of came into play, and justice was actually served out properly. The need for vigilante justice was kind of a necessary thing, even though it was against the law. There were too many criminals that were paying their way out of their crimes, and the vigilantes needed to protect the money and the citizens in these towns. Thank you for watching my short little video on vigilante justice in Montana. I look forward to your questions and comments. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye.